You looked every which way but that way. So how was the breakfast?
It was yummy.
Yeah?
The Lions Club in Fort Langley.
Yes, your old hometown.
Yes.
Welcome to Super Shuffle. And on this edition, Eileen and I head off to the beautiful community of Fort Langley, British Columbia. Fort Langley was BC's first capital city way back when. And it's situated not very far from the Fraser River, the mighty Fraser River, that is the longest river in Canada. And it starts way up north and heads off into the Pacific Ocean. But today we are going to be spending most of today taking in the festivities and enjoying the sights, the sounds, the smells of the parade. And later on we head on to the park. We head into the park, and barbecue chicken is probably one of the most tasteful,
They do a lot of good work.
best and favorite things for visitors to the park to do. There's a lot of people here in Fort Langley today, and parking is at a premium. In fact, we saw some vehicles as we came in about 1.5 miles away from Fort Langley on Glover Road, or just maybe a little bit less. But in any event, it seemed like a long way. But it's May Day in Fort Langley. It's Monday, May the 20th. The year is 2024. And we are celebrating the 102nd annual May Day in historic Fort Langley. So the Fort Langley Lions are a very aggressive, community-minded group, and they're excited to host the May Day parade. And then that is followed by the Family Fun Festival in the park. This free community event was established way back in 1922, and it brings together local musical talent, community members, and vendors to the fort. There's a May Day queen and a whole bunch of other dignitaries from the municipality and the city of Langley, and various politicians from the provincial government to the federal government in Ottawa all take part in this parade. So I see folks have brought their lawn chairs, their blankets. There was no need for an umbrella because it was an absolutely gorgeous morning, and the parade starts around 11 o'clock, and everybody seems to have brought their great spirits to Fort Langley, and it's a beautiful little town, and the May Day has a lot to offer. It's pretty impressive for a small community, and it's worth the trip out to see. If you've never been to Fort Langley, and particularly May Day, make plans to attend. There's an RV campsite just a very short distance. Actually, it's almost within Fort Langley from the parade route and the park. And if you have young children, bring them. This is an event for the whole family, and the young kids will love it. It's in the park, and the route heads down Glover Road and then ends up in the park. And there's a lot of interest in the parade and interesting things to see in the parade for local folks, with children taking part in many of the performances along the route. And if you're in the area, it's well worth taking in. And now there's activities at the Fort Langley Heritage Site as well, and they feature barrel making, musket firing, and blacksmithing demonstrations. And there's a lot more to May Day in Fort Langley than just the parade. Fort Langley on Victoria Day weekend, it's a great way to spend the holiday Monday. So we are watching some of the early part of the parade and the parade route. The fire trucks will kick it off. You'll see the RCMP later on. There are dancers and horses, classic cars, and of course our favorite, although I should really be truthful, it's my favorite. Eileen loves them as well. She's a farm girl. Tractors from the Fort Langley Museum, the Agricultural Museum in Fort Langley. Lots to see. It's absolutely, like I said, a beautiful community. And so we'll sit back, grab your favorite lawn chair and a blanket, and if you brought along a snack, and let's take in the festivities of the 102nd annual May Day parade and festivities in the beautiful community of Fort Langley, British Columbia. So the parade has started nicely, and the fire trucks have gone by, and the RCMP have kicked it off. And in the pink Cadillac, guess who's driving the pink Cadillac? I'm not sure of his real name, but it's Elvis Presley. And he's a fabulous imitator of many of the great songs and hits that Elvis sang back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But I noticed the old Cadillac probably needs a tune-up. That is blue smoke coming out of the tailpipe. It's not white smoke, which would indicate moisture. But I smile. It's probably takes a lot of money to keep a big yacht like that on the road. And I've seen it around Langley lots. He's a fabulous performer, and he's an Elvis impersonator. The horses and the buggies are always a favorite along the parade route. The children love the horses, and the older seniors, and I guess there isn't very many people that don't like horses. These are well-behaved animals along the Fort Langley 102nd May Day Parade.
Mom, there are poop bags under the horses.
So now we start off with some of the local politicians, and I believe that is the May Day. I'm not sure. It looks like the May Day Queen, but that's not it. The kids love stickers. Lots of parade participants handing out candy and stickers to the youngsters. But some old cars, and it's always nice to see that these people take time out of their busy schedules and polish up their old vehicles and bring them out for a beautiful day in Fort Langley for this gorgeous parade. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that little vehicle stopping too many speeders, unless it's a radar trap. That would be a good disguise, sitting on the side of the road, and you'd never think that there'd be an officer of the law holding a radar gun at you. But that's a cute little vehicle. Convertibles, you gotta love convertibles on a sunny, beautiful day in the lower mainland of British Columbia. We are on the west coast of Canada. Fort Langley is part of the municipality of Langley, and within Langley there are many other communities. Langley City, of course, Aldergrove, and the first fort, as I mentioned earlier, the first capital of British Columbia was Fort Langley. Old-fashioned tow truck. I wish I had a camera down further on Glover Road. You'd see the parade route is lined with both sides, full of spectators. Just an absolutely gorgeous morning here in Fort Langley. And as I was mentioning earlier, Fort Langley is probably about 50 kilometers or about 30 miles from the city of Vancouver. And we enjoy a beautiful climate almost all year round here, as we're right on the coast, the west coast of Canada, and the Pacific Ocean is not very far from us, and we get some beautiful weather surrounded by mountains. I know you can't see the mountains currently, but to the north, from the direction that these cars are coming from, you'll see some of the most gorgeous mountains that surround the entire Fraser Valley. And Fort Langley is in the Fraser Valley. It's a farming community to the east and lots of residential, golf courses nearby. I mentioned earlier there's an RV park. Well, if you just head down where the vehicles are coming from, less than 1/8 of a mile, there's the Fort Langley RV Park, and they take rigs of all sizes, campers, tents, RVs, and the big RVs. And it'd be well worth a visit to Fort Langley. The area offers many amenities, restaurants, some of the most popular restaurants in the area are here in Fort Langley, and some require reservations, some you take your chance on. Now that car looks like it's steaming a little bit, and some of the older cars have an issue with going so slow during a parade and they overheat. Here's an old Zamboni that's been turned into a parade. The Giants, the Vancouver Giants, are a hockey team here in the Lower Mainland of BC in the Western Hockey League, and they do very well. So I'll be quiet now because here comes an old farm tractor from the Langley Heritage Society. The BC Farm Museum is just a few blocks away from the parade route, and we'll see many of their collection of tractors in the parade. People love a parade. Cheering and waving at the entrance, and those driving and walking and marching in the parade love smiling and waving back at the crowds. The kids are happy. That's a Minneapolis Moline. Minneapolis Moline. Pretty popular tractor. So, see that green one? You know why they paint those green? Well, it's apparently so they can hide in the bush while the red ones do all the work. So I love tractors. I love tractors of all colors. And they're like jelly beans. All beautifully colored and all sweet. But I've got a real big passion for the red ones, from a world global leader in agricultural equipment at one time, the International Harvester Company. But at the BC Farm Museum, that's where these tractors reside when they're not out on parade. Big powerful John Deere coming there. There's a little Massey with a sycamore attached, and yes, there is a guard on the sycamore. And another John Deere. Many fans of John Deere globally, in North America as well, and in Canada, the United States. It's a company that continues to thrive and build some excellent products, whether it's the home and garden side of John Deere or whether it's the agricultural side. Another beautifully restored Massey, and I believe that's a 55. No, I'm wrong. It's not. And a few more John Deeres. I'm not that familiar with the early John Deere models, but that yellow and green sure stands out in the parade. I know some think that green clashes with the environment. Not me. No. A big row crop John Deere. The tricycle wheels up front. And the one-cylinder engines that powered many small farms, from washing machines to water wells to in the barn. This is Super Shuffle, Roadside Stories with Ken and Eileen, and today we are in the beautiful community of Fort Langley, British Columbia, Canada, on the west coast of Canada, and it's the 102nd annual May Day Parade in the historic community of Fort Langley, British Columbia. And you really have to thank the Fort Langley Lions Club. They had a fabulous breakfast this morning. Pancakes and sausages for $8, included coffee and refreshment, and it was right in the hall, and the volunteers are to be commended and loudly and silently applauded for the great work that they do in the community of Fort Langley. And of course they host this parade. Mustangs, lots of Mustangs. That's a 1967. And behind it, the yellow one, is a 1968 California Special. Ford Motor Car Company, builders of fine automobiles and cars, sure hit a home run with the Mustang. And it currently is still popular with not only the older baby boomers, but the younger generation, the 18 to 34-year-olds and 35-plus crowd still love the new design of the Mustang. Isn't that a beautiful, soft yellow on that California Special Mustang? And there you have an updated version of the Mustang. Eileen and I hope that you're enjoying the parade so far. And if you've been, this will bring back some memories of the parade this year. Now, those are witches. They've got a great sense of humor. Apparently, they are the dancing witches of Fort Langley. They're a worldwide organization that originally started in Germany, I think. I'm not sure, but I think they started in Germany. These ladies have a wonderful attitude. They love dancing, and they put on a great show, and they're really into the whole idea of being a witch, but a fun witch, a nice, friendly witch. Old cars, and that is our good friend Aldo Kuntz. What a wonderful man he is. He just bought that a year or two ago, and since the passing of his beautiful wife, Betty, he is also a member, and he volunteers at the Truck Museum in Cloverdale, British Columbia, and he's just a wonderful man. Aldo Kuntz, former owner of Highway RV Land, the RV business. Now here comes something very special. Apparently it's the only one in Canada. It's a one-cylinder diesel tractor. And do you think I can remember the name? I want to say Bulldog, but I'm not sure that that's it. But it's the only one in Canada, apparently. And it lives in Langley. And one big cylinder moves that entire tractor, plus whatever's hooked up to it. And it's a diesel. And you start it with the steering wheel. You take the steering wheel off and you put it on the side of the engine, and you just turn and crank that thing until it fires, and away it goes. Zero-turn electric and zero-turn carbon burning motors. Yep, that's a John Deere on a tow truck and a little John Deere. They represent the John Deere dealership that does just nothing but service and mechanical work up on the Fraser Highway in Langley. Always popular, the Silver Diamond Country Dancers. So Eileen and I hope that you enjoyed this edition of Super Shuffle. Not on location, but we had a beautiful day in the wonderful community of Fort Langley, British Columbia. It is a favorite destination for many residents in the Lower Mainland, from Vancouver, Richmond area, from Hope, Abbotsford, and of course Langley, to spend a Sunday afternoon, a weekend, or an evening out for dinner. There's just an absolutely calming, wonderful effect in that beautiful community of Fort Langley. And thank you for joining Eileen and I on this edition of Super Shuffle. We don't post a lot of videos up on YouTube, but when we've got the time and it's something we think that we'd like to share with you, the subscriber and our casual viewers, then we do so. So thank you very much for taking time out and watching our video. And if you want to subscribe, we trust that you'll hit that like button and then subscribe to our channel and see what we feature next. We are a channel that does roadside stories from our vehicles and look for interesting and different things. The Super Shuffle comes from the name. You never know what you get. We may be at a parade in Fort Langley one day. We may be flying our drone across the parts of the Fraser Valley where it's permitted, or we may be taking in some other event. It's a Super Shuffle. We're not dedicated to just one particular category, but in any event, thank you kindly for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening and week ahead, and hopefully we'll catch you on the channel again. Bye-bye.
So the Fort Langley Witches.
Dancing witches.
Fort Langley Dancing Witches. And you've been going for how long?
Well, it's been going on for a while, but we just really ramped it up since last Halloween.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we love your, can I call them a costume, or what do I call it? Your get-up?
Coming.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Coming, yeah.
So how fast does your broom fly?
Oh, on a good day with no wind, I would say 30 miles an hour.
Ah, then you're
But I like
whizzing
to do-
by.
But I don't do kilograms.
Well, thank you for your wonderful sense of humor.
And then we practice pathway.
Oh, that's pretty good. You're hired.
Nice talking.
You're hired. Thanks a lot.
Every year we have an issue with the seats, so just bear with us for a few minutes. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patron love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. I was worried I was putting you off with sitting beside you. Yes, now we're going to introduce Midori McMillan. She is going to introduce the Royal Party, another volunteer in Fort Langley.